That's the New England sign of love and respect. Go yourself.
If a Massachusetts person isn't like fucking with you in some way, shape, or form, it actually means they don't
100%.
like you. Because like to somebody I don't like, I would be like, yeah, hey, how you doing, buddy?
Mm-hmm.
And be like, that guy fucking sucks.
From Maine's cold coast to Connecticut pride, Vermont's green hills take it all in stride. Massachusetts traffic we grip and we grind with a Dunkin' iced coffee and no peace of mind. So New England stands up proud. Chowder thick, we shout it loud. From Fenway chants to Rhode Island tide, New Hampshire's cry, live free or die. So New England with Ian Brownhill.
Good friggin' morning from New England, folks. Welcome back to the So New England podcast, episode 86. And we've got a good one for you. This one is long overdue. RJ, tell us who our guest is today.
We always discuss the integrity and purity of what it is to be a New Englander. That grit of trueness to put yourself out there and just not give an F-U-C-K. And that couldn't be more true for our guest today. His content is truly him, and there is something for everybody. You want to try some food? Check him out. You want some truthful New England content? He's your guy. And my personal favorite for us golfers out there, you want an honest review you can enjoy at the course you're going to? He's got your back. So with that, we welcome to the pod, Marc with a C, Mr. Marc Lewis.
It's nice to be here, man. That was you wonder how the intro is gonna go, and then you're like, is it gonna hit? It's gotta hit, and that, bro, great job. Honestly, that was phenomenal.
Hell yeah,
great
brother.
intro. Couldn't have wrote it
Appreciate
better
you.
myself, honestly.
Love that.
Very nice to finally be here, man.
I think you're our first Mark, right? Our first Mac, which is great.
Do I have
considering
one accolade here? Because I didn't get the sexy episode number. There was another one. I didn't get it. Do I at least have like the first Mark?
You are the first Mac, which is great considering that's like the most stereotypical Boston name throughout like the nation. When they think of, because of Mark Wahlberg, they're always like, oh, Boston, Mac, maybe Tommy.
No, that's a good, you know what? I had never really considered that. And now...
Most New England,
maybe I do. Maybe there is something a little bit, you know what I mean? Now it's nice. Okay.
the most New England name ever. Mac.
Okay.
I love
If we're going to go top 3 New England names really quick.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw Ronnie in there. There's some Ronnie
Really?
scumbag. Yeah, it's a big scumbag name. It's a huge scumbag name in the scumbag community. I feel like Ronnie, everybody's got like an Uncle Ronnie that sucks, but like doesn't suck at the same time. And there's, I mean, if we're going to go with another, like, I mean, we all know 1,000 Anthony's.
Yeah.
My dad's Anthony. And it's not a bad, I don't know what the other, Charlie
Charlie could work.
Charlie could be a good one. I don't know. I feel like you could rotate in that third spot, but I think Mark is the most like phonetically.
That's
if you're
the one
really
that like
hamming the
everyone
accent
thinks
up,
of.
Would you say?
That's what everyone thinks of when they think of Boston and they think of Massachusetts as Mark.
Then that, you know what?
At least that's what I would imagine. Like if you went to LA and you were like, if someone was from Boston, what would be the name you think of? They'd probably say Mark. But I love the fact that Ronnie is like a thing because I only know Ronnie from the Jersey Shore. I've never met a Ronnie in person.
Yeah, I feel like it's like, you know why? They're like it's like a rare Pokemon, but when you find, they're out there, but you really, like, you got to find them. You know what I mean? It's really, you got to, like, to know a Ronnie is like a low-key a privilege. Could also be like a curse, but it's also a privilege. It depends on how you look at it. But yeah, that's my stance on Ronnie.
Yeah, I love it. Mark, welcome onto the episode, man. Thank you for making the trek down. I know you're a busy guy. You're always out and about, so we appreciate your time today.
Dude, I kind of missed doing pods. I just canceled my second show. Please clap. Please clap. Thank you. Yup, we've canceled the second show. No, the search, honestly, like I shut up Mark for a long time, and that went really well. And then, dude, honestly, like even with the search, it just gets like people don't realize, bro, it is not cheap to run a pod. It's not cheap. It's time. You need to find the right editor, like everything. And my team, Matoro, at the time, my old agency, was fantastic with it. They did such a good job. It's just like, it's not cheap to do.
Yeah.
It's a tough production. Like it is. And honestly, like eventually I got sick of like, you know, like having to do 3-month deals with sponsors and stuff. I'm like, dude, I'm good on this. Like, let me just do my, like, whatever. I've done a couple of shows. They went really well. The search had some really great viral moments. At this point, it would really have to be like there's an offer out there right now to do another one. It's like set at a barbershop. So we'll see how that goes. The structure is different. We'll put it that way. Creator to creator, which is more enticing for me. And but running a pod, like I'm not, look at this nice setup, everything up here. This is great. By the way, when was the last time they built a new building in this city?
Never.
Has nobody touched this place since 1977?
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's not like a rude stereotype.
No, I would say
I'm not crazy.
1877 if I'm being honest.
Okay.
Everything in Rhode Island is incredibly old.
This city looks like asbestos.
Yeah.
That's what I think of when I think of this city. Is I'm looking around at
That's why you have a
each
giant
building.
blue bug on the highway, man, taking care of all the asbestos.
I was like, what? I was like, this, does anybody like build anything here? Like, how does the union stay afloat? Like, what's going on
the
here?
union is run by the mob in Rhode Island. Everyone knows
Nice,
that.
dude. Okay, see?
The union is a
sometimes.
front for the mob in Rhode
Yeah,
Island.
okay.
Even though that's like old school thinking and mentality, it's probably still very true because there's a lot of construction companies, there's a lot of unions, and there's not a shit ton of work getting done. So I don't know how all those guys happen to be employed.
I think Providence is, it, in all jokes aside, it does remind me of like a movie set.
Yeah.
Almost like an old, or like the exteriors of like a TV show or a sitcom or something like that, which I think has always been like a cool, like, unique aesthetic that they have down here and stuff like that. There is also a lot of great food down here. And I also love, Boston's got kind of this like Irish personality, if you want to call it that, right? I think that's sort of, but I think a big misconception about Boston and like really Massachusetts in general is that it really is like a melting pot of a bunch of different ethnicities and ethnic groups. It really is. You go just around the city of Boston and it's like, you have your Italian neighborhoods. My dad's a North End guy, born and raised. East, he was predominantly Italian. And then you go to like South, like Mattapan, you get a lot of like, Haitian community, Jamaican, Caribbean islands and stuff like that. There's Greek people here. There's Syrian people here, Lebanese. It's a bunch of, I say here, we're literally in Providence. I meant in the city of Boston. Sorry. Yeah. Massachusetts in general has like an absurd, it's basically like we could like conduct our own World Cup. That's how I've always said. You could have a World Cup of just ethnic groups in Massachusetts and nationalities of people, and it would like compete for like 32 to 35 teams, I think.
Yeah,
honestly.
absolutely. And I think it's also because of the geographical location to Europe and these other countries. It's the easiest and fastest, most accessible city by just an hour by a plane ride from all of the European countries and the continents that are, east of here. So
yeah, absolutely.
that's probably why.
Yeah, it's not I think, well, that's how like life has always progressed, right? Like the geographically closest spot is kind of where people end up. You know what I mean? Whether it's New York or Mass, whatever it is, Florida,
right?
Stuff like that. So no, but Providence, I love being from a small town in Georgetown and like Georgetown, Mass, and Rhode Island's like, I gotta say, it might be like almost like a little too small for me as a state.
Yeah.
At least Massachusetts, you had that like wanderlust, like what was the city like? And I got a little bit of the taste of that with my dad and my mom and stuff. But
anyways, yes, we have been chit-chatting for a while, but I just want to get like a little bit, like we got to get your backstory because the best way that I can put it is you are a hustler because you are involved in a lot of different things and it's not just content. Yeah. And it's also the fact that you skew the line between content creator and influencer because you do offer your opinion on a lot of subjects throughout the New England region, restaurants, entertainment, dating life. You're very open about your personal life. You've talked openly about your mental health and your struggles with OCD. So you have a plethora of things. But you're also very involved in the community in the sense that you know like what's going on in the nightlife, you know what spots are popping off, you go to all the sporting events. So you also kind of have this stronghold footprint that is you're always involved in around the entertainment world, regardless of what it is. So I'd love to kind of talk about what has led you there and then where the next step is. Like what's the end goal for you? What do you ultimately want out of all of this?
So I basically like what I started as was just a guy when like Instagram came out with 16-second video. That was when I started doing like personal videos. I'd always wanted to be an entertainer. Always my whole life since I was 4 or 5 years old. That was always my goal. And content was always that until I could be in film. Film was my goal. Acting's my passion. Film's my goal. That's where I want to be. Always have. That'll never change. I've found that I'm pretty good at other ways of entertaining people, like through IG and stuff like that, social media and shit, which is great. Don't get me wrong. It's cool. But I started in 2013, I want to say, just doing videos to myself. That I was about 21, 22 by that math. And then by the time I was 24, and by the way, this is just posting on IG and like my Facebook to like my aunt's friends. That for like 9 people to like, you know what I mean? My audience was local, you could say it that. And then those went nowhere. Come 24, I start gambling. I start playing cards, and that spiraled into a full-blown addiction for 3 years. So I was blowing money left and right, doing that. That encompassed my whole life. All I would want to do is leave work, get out, take the cash I made. I was a waiter for 9 years before I went into content full-time. That's all I did was wait tables. I sucked at everything else. And I was an above average waiter. And that's about where I would, I would say I was an above average waiter, right? But I always just said, this is just what I'm going to do because I don't hate it and I'm not awful at it until I make it in this. Then COVID, the 27, I started to like, I can't say sober up. That's the wrong word. Clean up my life. Shook gambling cold turkey. It took me about 3 months to like wean off and kind of start straighten out. And then one by one, I started putting my life back together with, I wanted to keep a job for like a full calendar year and be like a good employee. You know what I'm saying? I was bottom of the barrel everywhere I worked. I sucked everywhere I worked because my mind was always elsewhere. So I took a job at Outback Steakhouse in Assembly Row and marathon that for about 9 months until I moved to Johnston, Rhode Island. So I was a Rhode Island resident for a summer in 2019.
No kidding.
Yep.
Okay, there you
Yes,
go.
I
Fun
was.
fact.
Yep. Little known fact. I love Johnston. A lot of Italians. So I love that. It's close to everything, as is Rhode Island. And the only reason I moved was because the thing about coming out of an addiction is you can do things right and start to do everything right, but that doesn't mean you can like undo. Like I was still going to get evicted from the apartment that I was like 3 months behind on rent. It just was what it was. You know what I mean? I just decided to clean up at a kind of a point of no return with that one thing. So I got back on my feet in Rhode Island. I moved back up here, took another waitering job. And then I said I wanted to lose weight. So I lost weight for like this 3rd time in my life. Weight's been an issue my entire life, up and down, up and down. And then COVID hits and a girl who I was friends with was like, you should make a TikTok. And I'm like, dude, I don't dance. You know what I mean? I'm not 12. So I'm like, no, that's what she's like. No, just do it. Okay. So I had one skit pop off. And by the way, I've come to just hate TikTok as a platform, by the way. Like I'm good on it. It just sucks for creators. I'm sorry. It does. It'll blow you up and then it will teeter you off. It will stop showing people who follow you your content. You'll see your views drop. Your revenue is going to change. Just focus on Instagram and now Facebook.
Yeah.
So now Facebook, I actually think is like the best place money wise.
Yeah.
For like creators to post their stuff and
Yeah.
like everybody has like, they have their own deal. I'm on that trial month right now where like it's a flat rate to post X amount of, reels in a month. I don't know if you've already been through this and you're obviously much bigger than me following wise, but yeah, how has that been for you? Like creator to creator?
Facebook is good because right now, very much like every other platform, they're just trying to incentivize larger creators to come over there because they're like, we're going to pay you for every view.
Yeah.
But what will happen is everyone will come over and then they will tape
It'll get bloated
and
like the TikTok creator fund.
Creator fund. They'll do the same thing. It's just make money. You know what I mean? They're just incentivizing. So, I mean, I've never been a part of any creator funds. I've always stayed out of it. I strictly work off brand deals.
Wow.
Because my interest is much more in exposure to leading to more opportunity than it is to just make money off of everything that I do. So
very interesting.
Yeah.
That's an interesting strat.
Because to be honest with you, even now, because I've gone through so many ebbs and flows with how content works and the chaos of the algorithm and having virality and then having no exposure and being completely flatlined. It seems like on every platform, it's like, it's too inconsistent. And I didn't want to create content for the thought of only being able to make money off of that. And also, to me, I was like, I just need to get bigger. I need to keep growing. And I can't do that if I'm being shadow banned because they don't want to pay me for that video.
and here's the other thing is like, I put out a video about this like maybe a month ago, where Instagram has had another recent algorithm shift.
Yep.
I think what it's showing is like, if you have a 60,000 view video right now, that's like getting to people.
Yeah.
Like your views count for more now.
Yeah.
It's harder to accrue them, but they count for more.
Right.
And analytically, you can go show that like, oh, like actually 65,000 people like watched more than half of this video.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Before, a view used to just be like whose For You page it ended up on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, now it's because it's just as equal opportunity for everyone. That's the whole point of the algorithm change that Mosseri put out, was that he wanted everyone to have the same equal opportunity, which negates the fact that either of us have followers or followings, because our audience isn't necessarily seeing it. So now not only are you competing with the top dogs that are in the same category of exposure that you've been in for the last X amount of years, now you're competing with the Joe Schmoes of the world, which I say that with the utmost respect, but anyone who just posts a funny viral video, people who aren't content creators, you know, they'll just post something. And because they don't typically post, Instagram is like, we want you to be addicted. We want you to post every day. We want you, because that's what makes us money. So then the one person that's got 500 followers posts a funny video of their girlfriend's night out and someone falls off of the table and everyone laughs and it goes 20 million views. And you're like,
but I will say this, that's happened forever.
yeah.
That's happened. That's why I think the way people look at algorithms is a little bit skewed. Like, that's happened forever. That random account that has like a funny, that's been happening since the beginning of social media, right? So what I think people need to do when they look at this kind of thing, I know you do social media consulting too for businesses and stuff, right? So what people need to realize is, I will say this, I still see a lot of the same people in my comment sections. I think every creator does.
Yeah.
You have those names you're used to seeing in your comments and being like, oh, it's Jeanette again.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jeanette, whoever she is. So you do. Your core
100%.
following does. There's people I still see that I've had followed since I made my Instagram like 6 years ago. I used to just have a personal one, and now I have like a just this. It's all Marc Lewis is my whole. I don't have like a personal one anymore. It's just that. But I will say this. I think it's more of, well, first off, TikTok is that now. It doesn't matter who you are on TikTok. And the thing is, that's what it's built for. Doom scrolling brain rot. That's what TikTok is. That's what it's made for. It's made for you to just scroll and scroll and scroll. And then like you obviously get this like disdain from people on the internet who voluntarily go on social media and then bitch about your video that they voluntarily watched. And it's like, dude, everybody hates content creators or thinks it's cringe or thinks people are losers. They should. My favorite thing is to get a real job. I don't want to. Nope. This one's been my full-time one for like 6 years now. I like it. I don't know about you. Do you want to go back to like working like a traditional job? I should say.
I don't know. I don't know if I ever could. I mean, obviously, if that were the circumstances of my life and where it placed me, I would. But if I had to choose, absolutely not.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
absolutely
okay, of course not. We're very lucky.
Yeah.
Like we have a pretty good. It's pretty cool.
It is
we get to
very,
do a lot
very
of cool shit. When the money's there, it's great. But like I say it, everybody else, bro, being a content creator right now, like you should approach your career if you're trying to get into this like an actor. Remember when people used to just move to LA at like 18 or 20 and like liquidate their assets and like move out there in a car and just like audition for like 3 years?
Pretty much.
That's what this is like.
Exactly.
It's every video, especially if you're a younger or whatever, like a younger creator in your career, I'm saying, right? And you're out there and you could start at 50, whatever it is. And each video, that's an audition. Each piece of content, that's an audition for the algorithm. And then you'll probably hit it once. And it's like, how do you follow that? Now you got to book another gig.
Right.
How do you do that? You need your second hit. You need your third hit. You've had like 30, right? I've been lucky enough where I have probably like 15 to 20, like, you know what I'm saying? 15 to 20. All of us that have been lucky enough to like, you know, myself, you, Maggie, Tommy, Chad, all that, Jake, like a bunch of people, Bean Shooter, all these people that have had consistent viral success and built like followings in this market, right? And it's also funny, for as populous as this region is, as socially relevant as it is, market relevant, all this other stuff, how active it is, there's really only like 5 to 7 of us.
Right.
It's weird how you'd think there'd be like way more. There's not.
Well, I think that there's so many. There are actually a lot more than 5 or 7, but it's just that the content is very different because everyone is
Fair.
So like what you create is often what you're going to end up consuming, or your algorithm is going to show you. But like, as I've learned with like the podcast, like for example, we've had 80, you're our 86th episode. So it's like, we've had a lot of people on here, and there's still a lot of people booked and ready that are going to be coming in soon that are like just from different walks of life. So it's there, but like in our particular niche and the type of style with like the Boston specific humor and or the Boston specific topics like the Patriots, Red Sox, Bruins, all that kind of shit. Like all of that stuff. Yeah, there's not a ton of us that do that specifically.
Right. And then it's like people hate content creators until your GoFundMe needs that. You have a friend that has a GoFundMe that you need promoted. Your friend's business is struggling and they need a little bit of help. You're looking for something to do on a date night and you find some video that pops up. Oh, this place right out just opened in so-and-so. Someone posted about it. We should go try it. You hate content people until you need it.
Yeah.
And it's like lawyers.
Yeah.
Not that my job is that of a lawyer, but I'm saying like everybody thinks lawyers are assholes until you need a lawyer and then they're your best friend.
Yeah. You made a good point earlier. You said something about like the people who you just notice them. So for the most part, I am with TikTok and Instagram. I do the pod page, and there's one person, and he's a great guy. We go back and forth, but he doesn't follow us, but he engages with us on anything and everything we talk about.
Oh, I get that. That
you know
too.
what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it makes me laugh because, like, we have a very, very good editor. He is really good at what he does.
Your guys' stuff is great.
Right?
It's clean. It's great.
So, like, when we have really good clips and they're informational and it's quality content, crickets. Maybe 1,000 views, maybe a couple comments from the same like generic people that we love to have. But it's like, but the second we say like we did a video, and it was actually probably one of the few times you mentioned a quality, nice thing about Connecticut, all jokes were aside. And the comments were filled with all the Connecticut hate, this and that, the slander. And it's just, it's negativity. No one's going to come and be like, oh, that's a great video. No one's going to do that. It's no different than, and you know this firsthand as a waiter. Yep. How many people are willing to say, oh, the service, the food, the this, the that is bad. But if it's good, it's the expectation. They don't say anything about it.
Yeah, so I would say in the food world, that's probably like 1 out of every 15 people you serve.
Right.
Like, I would say that personally. I also think that it's this, all of social media has just created this very odd parasocial relationship between the viewer and the creator. It's like you get a lot of, like, I don't know. Me personally, if I see somebody's shit that I don't like on social media, I just don't watch it.
Right.
I just scroll past it.
You keep scrolling.
I never would sit there with my like mini diatribe paragraph and be like, no. It's just like not. I mean, don't get me wrong. I fire back in the comments section sometimes because like I stick up. I stick up for myself. And I go in phases with that. Like, some days I'll be in a bad mood and I'll just feel like giving it back. Some days nothing can bother me and I just ignore it. You know what I'm saying? But human beings have emotions and different swings 100%. And stuff. It is what it is. But I will say this. Content as far as people, like whenever I see someone like really trying to like curate like a new business or something, like, oh, we want this to look a certain way, bro. No one fucking cares what it looks like. No one gives a shit. You guys think about this way. I'm talking about like aspiring creators or like businesses that want like a presence. No one gives a fuck. Just if it's entertaining, listen, you're either entertaining or you're not. That is what is going to like make you have a career or it's not. That's it. They like you or they don't. That's it. There's nothing else to it. There's not, I post at this time and my hook is this strong. It's all, what a load of shit. Stop. There's so much bad social media advice on the internet. None of it coming from So
The people who
the
actually-
people, no, I meant what's your company?
Better socials.
Better Socials. None of it comes from Better Socials. If anything, go to Better Socials for all your social media advice. But I'm saying like Ian the whole time, it's like that you know that meme where it's like Ben Affleck's hyping up like the Batman Superman movie and it's like the sad music looking at Henry Cavill. The whole time he's just like, fuck, dude. No. No, but it's hard to find good advice.
Yeah.
Is what I will say. So like you're somebody I would definitely consult with, right? And I'm not just saying that because I'm in front of you. It's very hard to find good advice. I've also like noticed that like I'll watch something someone said, like, you know, a little advice video, whatever. And then like 3 months down the road, I'm like, wow, that just didn't happen at all.
Yeah.
Like none of that happened. None of this like projection, none of that happened.
You should be doing these 3 things if you want to go viral. You should be posting at
Oh
these
my
3. It's
God.
like all of those
And
things.
then every video is everybody talking the same. Some of them and this and I'm like, copy and paste. You're exactly the same like everybody else. If anything, one thing I do like about how IG is doing things now is they really do want like more real people doing real shit.
Yeah.
I think like that like fake influencer era is so kaputs. No one wants that shit, in my opinion, at least. At least I don't. You know what I'm saying? And do you think there's a difference between influencer and content creator?
Yeah,
I do.
100%.
I do.
Yeah, yeah.
100%.
I do.
I always try to respectfully correct anyone and say I'm not an influencer.
I'm a content creator.
Mostly because I'm in my 30s and influencer is not a term I want to be following. But also, I don't really influence anyone.
1,000%.
I make content for entertainment.
Right. And
That is like the
yeah.
actor
Well, I do-
entertainer in me. It's like,
Right.
this
There is
is
a big
content to
difference.
consume, not, you know, and I try sometimes, like I've been doing like an ice cream series that's been kind of like an influencer-esque type of thing. But also, I don't leave like a review on the ice cream. I don't tell you what the quality is, what the price is. I don't like take a bite and then go, no, oh my God, no, I'm dead. You guys,
Guys, I just shit myself. This is amazing.
I'm like, it's frozen milk. Like, it's good. It can be
Yeah,
pretty bad
right.
and it can be really good, but it's never going to make you go, no, you guys, I'm being so serious. This is insane. It's
Have you ever like
what are we
been
doing?
out to eat with people and just been like, Jeff, oh my God,
Yeah.
this fucking burger, I just pissed my pants. Like no one reacts like that around like other people. You know
Literally,
what I'm
like
saying?
the average person.
At Texas Roadhouse, when I've seen this man eat the buns, let me tell you,
I will
that
say,
is
nothing
quite the
beats the
scene.
fucking Texas Roadhouse.
What's the fattest moment of your life?
100% Texas Roadhouse.
Well, hold on. No, wait,
Cheesecake-
no.
I
It's
fuck
not
with
just.
Cheesecake
Oh, true,
Factory
true,
pretty hard.
true.
That's
Yeah,
my
but
favorite.
like what I'm saying in like one sitting, what's the fattest moment? Like you couldn't have even been fat at the time. You could just been a regular person. Anybody can have
No,
a fat moment.
it's
You could
Cheesecake
be
Factory,
120.
probably.
You could be 120 pounds and like 6 feet tall.
Although
and
we
have
did,
a fat moment.
We did have that sushi buffet in Westerly one time where do you remember when we accidentally ordered 68 pieces of sushi? So it was like this boat thing that was like an all you can eat buffet. And we ordered the sushi and I like ordered like the thing. I was like, oh, if like, let's do that. Let's just get it. Like, and we ordered 68 pieces of sushi and we ate all that. And we went up and we ate at the turnstile and got like all of the Chinese.
That was
But,
up there.
Like my fattest moments like is often usually Cheesecake Factory. I'll do
Really?
like the egg rolls. I'll eat the bread.
The Tex-Mex.
The Tex-Mex. I do the avocado egg rolls.
Okay.
Avocado egg rolls, and then I'll do a full-on like a whole loaf of that bread, and then I'll crush the mac and cheeseburger or the chicken Bellagio, and then I'll do a piece of cheesecake. It's like
Okay, so we're
Yeah,
talking like
that's
a
like-
4,500 up,
I
like
was like-
35,
I was
4,500.
like, that's like
cal-
4,000 calories in a single sitting.
Yeah, that is beast
Which is
mode.
horrible because, you know, like I said, when I was doing the dieting stuff, I don't think I ever consumed more than maybe 2,500 in an entire day. So 4,000 in one sitting is actually absurd.
Now here's another thing. What about like post show? You never went absolute ham slice on something like post show?
You do. And like, you know, at the time I was trying to do fitness influencing. So like the thing was like donuts was
I just
massive
can't
at
even
the time.
imagine you doing that. It's so
So
crazy.
like
It was wild.
I like,
It was
what an
cool
era
though.
this was.
It was cool though.
and I would like, you know, like, so at the time Krispy Kreme is in
Yep.
Florida. We don't really have any around here, so to speak. There's some at like Mohegan Sun, but you know, like I had like 6 or 7 Krispy Kremes, or like, you know, at the time when I was
That's a pretty good fat moment. That's
when,
pretty
in
good.
like 2012,
hold on.
13, when I was
There's-
doing this, they
here-
had like all like the creative style donuts, but
Yeah.
I'm not even a fan of those. Like I love a good donut, but I'm a cake donut guy, and most of those donuts that are all crafty with all like the shit, I'm like, this is
Way too
basically
sugary
just
and shit.
this is just like a package of Oreos on a regular yeasty ass donut.
Yeah, I think the donut game is absolutely like way too overcrowded and saturated. People get way too ornate with this shit where it's like, this is all just a bunch of sugary shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, this sucks. Like crumble cookies, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm good. No thanks.
See, you're missing a big integral part to this.
Okay.
Okay.
All right,
What'd
let
I
me tell
miss?
you. Let me tell
Okay.
you, okay? He lived in Miami,
Mm-hmm.
and he was still pretty much into the fitness realm, very much so, but he did the donuts. You're forgetting about the ice cream.
Oh yeah.
I came to
fuck up ice
visit
cream
him
like you wouldn't believe.
one time, and we're going to this Dairy Queen, and it's lying out the door. We're in the middle of Miami.
Never got old, by the way, DQ. Just wanna say
Exactly
that
my
really
point.
quick.
Exactly my
legit
point.
had it yesterday.
We're in line. The second we get through the door, the guy behind the counter, owner, manager, don't know,
Owner.
great
Proprietor.
guy. Ian, hey! There's like 15 people in front of us. DQ, that man right there.
What's that?
What year
Ice
is this?
cream.
Blizzard.
What year is this?
2013, 14.
No, was I still in No, I was out of college.
Oh, so
15,
15,
16.
15.
So
15,
you were
16, 17.
VIP at
Yeah.
DQ before you ever.
S'mores Blizzard with Oreos added.
Really?
Fit
That was
body
your thing?
Bee-Hoo.
Fire.
See me, I'm a cookie dough blizzard with the chocolate shell.
There you go.
You're sleeping on the
And
strawberry
it just never see. I
Strawberry
can't-
cheesecake was fire too.
It gets too sugary for me. That's what you don't
It's
understand.
the
Like,
little
I-
cheesecake pieces.
Is that what it is?
Fucking.
Honestly, the Ben and Jerry's one is actually fire. The strawberry cheesecake. from
What do
Ben
you
and Jerry's.
think?
So milk and cookies is my favorite Ben and
brownie
Jerry's
batter.
flavor
That's a good one,
personally.
too.
Brownie batters.
That's it. Brownie batter's your favorite Ben and Jerry's.
I mean, no, DQ, brownie batter blizzard.
Oh, really? Okay.
I'm not a
Gotcha.
chocolate guy like that. I
guess-
can't get down on those like crazy chocolate.
Too much
gotta go all
chocolate
in.
is
I gotta go
definitely
all
a
in.
thing where I
It's
like
either
I
all or
cut it
nothing.
off a little bit, and I'm like, this is getting too.
Like I fuck with True Fruits. You ever tried the True Fruits, which is like the chocolate? That's like the new thing that's out there is chocolate covered fruit that comes frozen now. But it's like chocolate covered raspberries.
Never done it for me.
It's fire.
Do you know what the only chocolate covered? I don't know if you call it a fruit. Anything that I've ever enjoyed, Raisinets.
Yeah.
those are fire.
That's it.
Raisinets are great.
gasoline.
Yep.
And I think they're kind of underrated personally. But yeah, no, too much like a mousse. It gets too chocolatey for
Oh,
me.
yeah,
And I'm
yeah,
just
that's
like, I'm
That's
just
fair.
second
That's fair.
bite, I'm diabetic. I'm like, I can't do this. This is just too much. Yeah, absolutely not. Are you a golfer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're all
Alpine,
golfers.
I like. Can I talk shit about Newport National for a second, please?
I would never play Newport National.
Never in my life would I play this place again. Like, again, I don't like to bash places, but like, dude, listen, tell me if I'm wrong. You guys are all Rhode Island people, right?
Yep.
Okay. So from what it sounds like to me is that place, first of all, it sounds like it used to be like even stricter than it is now. Like no phones, no
yeah.
music on the cart. Like this place was like a golf course, right?
Yeah.
That old clubhouse looks like it sucked. The one that's at the first tee box of the new 18. Not new 18,
I've
but
never.
like,
I honestly, I've never even been to it. I don't even.
Oh,
know
you've never
I've
been
never
there?
been. I have no idea what
Oh.
it looks like. I've
We
never
have-
played it.
So I've always thought the stigma was that it was the nicest course ish in Rhode Island, but we have played like Exeter Country Club is like to me there in Meadowbrook in our neck of the woods.
Meadowbrook was in the comments a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only downfall to Meadowbrook is the course is great. It's very long, all very drivable, tons of fun, great greens, all that. The carts, man, they put no money into those carts. They
See
are
now the more
shitty
when
as
you
hell.
when you get up into the when I see a course like Mount Hood and Melrose, now they have like what Tag Marshall that display in the cart and stuff. They get new ones. If a Muni's getting carts, there's no excuse for you as a private to not.
Yeah.
Right.
There's no excuse. I'm
Right.
sorry. Like, and then it's like, put it this way, like Newport National, bro, like it's the thing that's, and I know this is Rhode Island, so I'm kind of like bitching about nothing, but like it's so, no, I'm saying like,
Yeah.
it's so flat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's so flat and like Newport National, right? Just nothing to look at.
Mm.
And it's not, I'm not saying Rhode Island's ugly. Rhode Island's gorgeous.
Yeah.
But,
But
like,
you would think being out there,
you would think
yeah.
being out there that it's beautiful. And I'm like, how do you make this look like shit?
Yeah.
This is like, it's if you're not on the fairway, you're screwed. You're in that thick, whatever that grass is. It's like crabgrass almost, or you're in fescue. And I'm just like, this is just like, and typically at the end of the summer, those greens I've heard, they roll at like a 12 or 13. Thank God they were at like an 8 or 9 when we golfed around. I've been like, dude, this place like carpet bomb it.
Yeah.
And it's 210 for 18.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I'm sorry, that's crazy. So supposedly that group came in. Do you think they're trying to push out locals? Because that's what I heard.
I mean, who knows? It's Newport. Newport is a very different. It's an upper echelon of living. If you're going to be in outside of the community that lives in Newport year round, most of it is incredibly transient, and the money that's there is astronomical for the golfing month. So 210 is nothing to most of the people who golf in that area at that time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like 210 would never last here on the mainland.
Right.
Like if 210 in Warwick would never fly. You know what I mean?
So that's what again, from what I'm reading in the comments was, because this is that's my biggest review so far is Newport National, which is why I'm talking about it right now. And it's like, they were basically like, yeah, to Ian's point, that they're just going for the transient people
100%.
who come in and don't care about paying that. When I say they pushed out locals, you got, like you just said, no one would do that. And I'm like, 210 for this course is absurd.
Yeah.
Like it's a 7.4, which is fine. Not for $210. Like that's crazy.
I think we talk about it sometimes because when we do our bachelor party trips where we go with all our buddies, we're okay with like, hey, if there's one course that's super nice, like we went to Orlando and it was a beautiful course.
Really?
Beautiful. Same thing in Tampa. And I would have paid that.
Florida
for
golf
that.
is the best.
I was
golf.
going to say, is Florida golf really the best golf? Because Arizona golf is dry. I
Yeah.
golfed in Scottsdale.
Yeah, I mean, I've golfed probably 8 or 9 different courses in Scottsdale myself, and I think that from an enjoyment and view perspective, I would prefer.
So you're an avid golfer.
I am, yeah. I'm probably like, I don't know, like an 8 to 12.
Oh, you're
Handicap?
you're an exceptional golfer.
Yeah.
You're a damn
pretty
good
good.
golfer. Yeah,
But
that's a
for
very good
someone who
golfer.
doesn't play a lot, he's good. Yes.
Yeah, I
No,
don't.
that's a
I
very
don't.
good
I don't
golfer.
play a ton because I'm very picky about my golf in the way that I'm like, if I'm going to golf is really hard. It's a very mentally taxing sport. I don't want to play when it's cold. I don't want to play when it's rainy.
Yep.
And I don't want to play at a shitty course because it's like if a tee box is absolute trash, I'm likely going to hit a bad shot. And I don't want to I don't want to know that I spent money and I'm just angry the entire time. I'd rather spend $100 or even $150 and be on a nice course with my boys, drinking, having music,
Yep.
like a good vibe. And it's
100%.
like, it feels like a time well invested.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to spend $75 for Muni and it's an absolute shithole, I'm like, dude, I'm not interested in this.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna throw some on what I like that golf advice video I did to add on to that. You're entitled to an even tee box.
100%.
I don't care where you
Well,
are.
you know,
That is my biggest gripe. in
My
golf in
100%.
biggest,
history.
there's no
Yeah.
excuse. You're entitled. I don't
Yes.
care if the flat is 5 yards in front of the white tee box, the blue tee box. I'm hitting from it. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't like whatever. Dock
say
me
the
whatever you
same
want, but
thing.
I'm not hitting a ball
100%.
above my feet
No.
on a tee box.
When
Anywhere
you-
else,
Yeah.
I don't care.
There's only, I would say maybe 2 or 3 courses that I go to in the Rhode Island, Connecticut area where I'm like, okay, if it's not a well kept up, I know it's at least okay, like mentally okay with that. But now it's getting to the point where some of these courses, when you're supposed to be hit, like you hit it in the fairway, it should be a reward. We're average golfers. We rarely do that. So if I can get mine at 230 in the middle of the fairway, I want flush, nice grass because I'm going to go duff that shot, have a nice beaver tail, and I want that. So like, I don't want to
Connecticut's got
hit
good golf,
on
too.
fucking dirt. Oh, 100%.
I can
But
imagine Connecticut golf is mid
Connecticut
probably,
National
bro.
is a
Connecticut
great-
National
is
is
a great
beautiful.
course.
Can I be honest with you? I feel like the only reason I would live in Connecticut is to golf. If I had the money and I could just golf and chill and golf.
Well, it adds that different perspective, right? Because we're on the coastline here in Rhode Island, so we're often not going to have all those undulations like they would in Connecticut because it's a little bit deeper in the woods. You're going to have all of those different, like hills and berms and stuff.
That's
to deal
why
with,
I
which
like
is nice.
why I hate like golfing in Quincy. Like I won't golf
Have
Granite
you done
Links.
Granite Links?
Awful. Hate it. Awful. Most overrated course in Massachusetts. Presidents is not as bad. Presidents is a hard, short, targety Donald Ross track. It's tough. But what is Quincy golf is windy golf. There's something about Quincy that is just windy. I don't know what it is, but that's the best golf town in Massachusetts. Clip potential here. Plymouth, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah?
Plymouth, dude, there's like
Never
6
been up
courses
there
in
for
Plymouth. Crosswinds is in Plymouth. Plymouth CC. Pine Hills. Yeah, I think it's called. Sorry. And there's like 3 other ones. Plymouth is probably the best golf town / small city, if you want to call it that, in Massachusetts.
Ooh.
As far as how much it offers, dude, like I said, there's like 5 or 6 courses. And the 3 I just listed are money. Really quality golf.
Yeah.
Plymouth CC was great. It's just short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is what it is.
Yeah.
I like Good.
No, I was gonna say Rhode Island golf is just a little bit overpriced. That's the
Yeah.
problem because golf has become such a popular sport due to social media.
Oh yeah.
It's just become
COVID too.
and
'Cause
COVID.
you could
it
play.
became like a sport that everyone could play and
Yeah.
still get outside. But like it just, I don't know. It's just too expensive.
Yeah,
I
it's
just
getting
don't. It's
rough.
not to me. It's not a great investment. So if I'm not gonna get like all my boys together, like I wouldn't go golf by myself anymore. And that's why Florida, to me, the grass is better. The courses have better design. It's almost because of the temperatures and the rain weather. The grass is almost always green and well kept and taken
My
care
dad
of.
also said
it's
the
affordable
the
there.
green, like the putting green. He's like they're like 3 times the size of the ones in New England.
Oh yeah.
They're like,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like a football field. He's
Well,
like,
yeah, because I mean, every professional golfer lives in Jupiter or just north of it. Like,
Right.
Everyone then that is a like Kepka. I don't know if
Rory.
Rory lives there.
There's like a whole strip
They all
of
live
golf.
there.
They
Of
all
all
live
professional
there.
guys.
They all live in
Yeah.
Florida because it's the better golf.
Yeah, 100%.
I can't believe how, I mean, since COVID, I just can't believe that like Florida really is, I think, like the next frontier of enjoy it while it is now, because eventually, dude, it's going to get overcrowded if it's not already.
It's massively overcrowded.
It's massively overcrowded. I hate to say, but like, again, then this isn't even a political thing. It's more of like the opportunity they offer, like new businesses, give, like you said, businesses a reason to go like base their HQ there. The tax stuff, it creates
Mhm.
jobs. I think, is it Fidelity just moved their HQ down there? Google just built something huge down there, and I hope it's not an AI data center. So
probably what
fuck
it
that. But I'm just saying, like, when you get to the weather and how much there is, Miami is obviously not. Can't picture you being a Miami guy.
That's, I lived in Miami
On the
for
contrary.
2 years.
You lived in Miami for 2 years.
I did, yeah.
There was a Miami Ian.
There was a Miami Ian.
What was he like?
Not much
How much
different
time
than
do you
Different
have?
than you,
How
yeah.
much time do you have?
What-
He's lying. How much time do you have?
What like he just randomly buys like a button down shirt with like Tommy Bahama leaves on it and stuff like that?
No.
Almost identical to what I would wear as a flower shirt all the time.
He somehow he brought back like his high school earring.
This was
and it's
Fit
just like-
Body B Hill. This
Really?
was amateur bodybuilding, fitness Ian.
Yeah, were you competing for a while?
I did.
Yeah.
I've
Oh,
done
you
probably
did?
about like, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 shows in my lifetime.
I don't know. Honest to God, I don't listen. Boxing's tough, like insanely hard. Wrestling is hard. Jiu-jitsu is hard. All these are the really demanding physical. I could never, ever competitively compete in like a fitness competition.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. It can't be fun. It can't be fun.
It depends. Yeah, it's just like it's a mental game. So it's really it depends on the type of person that you are. But for me, I'm very interested in trying to push my mental capacity limits. And like mental growth is something that I'm very passionate
Interesting.
about. So like doing something like that when you're hungry, when you're tired, trying to push through the limits of like what your brain when it tells you to stop and being able to push
what it
through
thinks
those.
it is.
Yeah.
Got you.
So-
Okay, so that's more what it is for
Yeah,
you.
yeah. And it's an individual sport. The only person
You're
that
competing against
is
really
yourself.
is you. I mean, you are technically competing against other people, but it's like it's not somebody it's not the guy next to you doing lat presses. You know what I'm
there is
saying?
no, I'm sorry, but there's no loser in bodybuilding. If you were able to physically
agree.
get yourself into that type of shape and take care of your body and do that, although there is detriments to it, that it is a dangerous sport to kind of push your health to that level. But at the end of the day, like if you were able to step on stage at least once, like you've won.
Oh, yeah.
I
That's
literally, you could have told me I did one show and I would have been like, that's insane.
Yep.
I also, the thing that sucks is like personally, like I think you look like better right now.
Yeah,
me
no,
and
I feel much
personally,
better now.
You're like a built guy, a handsome guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I mean, where I'm like, I look at some people that like in their like competition thing and I'm like, dude, you look dead.
Yeah.
You look ripped,
Yeah.
but dead.
Well, you got to
like
think
a ripped
about
corpse.
it from a physical body standpoint. You might look like you're in peak physical condition, but realistically, you are as malnourished as possible because you have to go up there empty. You can't like the salt, and you're like eating what? What were you eating? Like a saltine every hour just to have something?
Yeah,
in
right.
it?
You eat like a
That's,
because you're
bro,
going
that's
up-
just
you know,
insanity
rice
to me. I'm
pudding.
sorry, that's crazy,
Yeah.
bro.
You have to like carb up. It's a
Yeah.
science. It's
Yeah.
like,
It's
you know,
definitely a science, and it's like
the
I
whole
said,
thing is about trying to peak your best physical thing. And the only thing that was really difficult about it is I never took steroids. So when I started competing, I was in the NPC, and you know, this is one of those, again, for whatever reason, this is one of the things that still stays completely silent, but I'm going to call it out. It is an untested drug using industry. Everyone knows it. You don't get that big without drugs. So the problem is I was in a category that was called men's physique. And the whole purpose of that when it was first introduced in the early to mid 2000s was board short guys, which is typically means guys who can't bring their legs into shape, which I couldn't. I could never, no matter how much I squatted, I have a huge ass and big quads. I could never get my calves. So I could never compete in open bodybuilding. So it's about just being how lean and slim can you get to look really good in swim trunks. So like Abercrombie model type is what the category was supposed to be. And then what happened is there were bodybuilders who were juicing and going crazy and they couldn't bring their legs in, even with all the, Anavar, Winstrel and 8 Ball, like they were going crazy with all of it. So what happened was those guys started coming down to men's physique because they could cover their legs. And then next thing you know, I'm on stage 172 pounds, 5% body fat. That's about as low as a human can get before it's, and I'm going against guys that are 210, the same height as me, who've got 40 pounds of muscle on me, and they're 160. They're like 3% body fat.
What are you, like 5'10"? Like
yeah, I'm about 6'3".
Okay.
No, I'm about 5'8".
Okay,
yeah, I'm like 5'8". So, like it goes by height, and then that's the issue. A guy like my size that's like friggin',
Yeah,
210.
I need that.
How am I ever going to do that?
Absurd.
What'd you say, bitch?
I need that clip.
Oh yeah. We always, I'm 5'8" and 3/4. So shoes on, I'm 5'9".
Dude, good for honestly. And then like you got guys like
best friend bullshit here. He wants to argue with me. You're not 5'9".
It's another height thing, by the way. I'm going to say this right now. By the way, I will say this. I think the height discourse, however this is all gotten, I've always like, if anybody like looks up like a Google stat, the average man is 5'9". Right. That's the average height of like the American man. The average height of the human man, 5'5".
Right.
So it's like everybody, I've always said like, I don't think I'm tall. I don't think I'm short. I'm like somewhere between 5'9" and 5'10". Like I'm not like a tall guy.
Right.
But I consider myself an average size person.
Right.
I mean, statistically, I kind of check that box. So like also from the internet, dude, I can't tell you how many people like assume that I'm short.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know what it, maybe because I'm always sitting down. I have no idea. Who knows?
I mean, it's just the internet being
the internet being the internet, right? Which is totally fine.
Yeah, but I mean, it's at the end of the day, dude, it's like it doesn't matter your height. If you're a shitty person, then that's the problem.
Well, yeah, dude. And then the other thing, like I've also said, like, I don't know. I just feel like height perception is such like an odd thing that's like, that people hang their hat on.
It's the engagement. As soon as they make one of those clips, all the guys are in the comments talking about, oh, it shouldn't matter, blah, blah, blah. And then the girls are in there. Yes, it does. Yes, it's just engagement.
It's honestly, dude, it ends up in one of these. It ends up one of these, what I call like discourse black holes. That is just a bunch of pointless, stupid conversation about the most trivial thing.
Yeah.
Like who gives a shit?
All right, I think this is a good time to transition into our So New England segment. Music, which you didn't hear.
You want it again?
No, go for it again, just so we can hear it. That's it. Just music that you missed, but you're good.
Thank God I put on these headphones for that.
My bad. I was letting you know that there was sound in the headphones.
No, that horn never gets old either, to be honest with you. That little thing, honestly, yeah. I feel like I got to drop a hot 16 right now on like Tim Westwood or something.
All right, what is the most overrated and underrated thing about Boston?
The most overrated thing? Lobster rolls.
In Boston specific, or is New England as a whole?
Oh, I would say that's interesting. I'm going to say New England as a whole, a lobster roll. I think for the amount of money that you pay for a lobster roll, it's kind of underwhelming. There's also too many ones that suck.
Yeah.
I'm not saying there's no good lobster rolls. They're just too far and few between for me, personally.
I got you.
I think if you think it's something that's connotated with New England, I'm pretty like a lobster roll. I think it's safe to say is like that.
Yeah.
Definitely that between that and Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock's a joke. It shouldn't even be marked as anything at that point. Because they just put that rock down.
Yeah.
Because like it had to be around here somewhere. Just pick this and like fence it off. Nobody knows where they actually pulled up. Nobody would some guy sat there drawing the whole thing. Would they let him off before everybody else? And he's sitting there with an easel, just doing a little charcoal action. Like, no. Sorry. It's either that. I'm going to go with the lobster roll. Most overrated. Absolutely. You said underrated thing?
The most underrated thing.
I am going to go with the most underrated thing, New England, Massachusetts. I will say this is a very interesting question. Underrated. I'm going to go with I think we have great Roast beef. We have great regionally relevant food items. I think the most, not to stay on the food thing, but we have very regionally relevant. I mean, think of everywhere else around the country.
Yeah.
Steak tips are only here. Roast beef's only here.
Good.
I think bar pizza's only here. There's a lot of stuff that's just lobster rolls are only here for the most part. I mean, like, yeah, you can import them other places, but like this is the mecca of it, right? Yeah, like I know it sounds kind of hypocritical because I just said lobster rolls are overrated, but I'm saying,
Yeah, you're right though. You're right.
I would say like our locally relevant food items. That's what I would say personally.
There you go. If you could add a seventh state to New England, could be a country, region, area, whatever you want. It comes with everything. It brings the food, the culture, the people, traffic, whatever it is. What would you bring?
Maryland.
Ooh, why?
I think Maryland's a great, super underrated state. One, they have a great flag. They have the best state flag out of anybody in the entire country.
Isn't there? I know what you're talking about because I play with them in. For some reason, they're always my dynasty team in college
NCAA
football.
College football, yeah. Because the uniform selection is
100%.
They're also not even remotely good enough to warrant all those uniforms.
Yeah,
but like whatever, it's a different conversation.
It's so true.
Yep. I'd probably say, does it need to be someone like that?
No, that's
we
perfect.
Can like reach out and like.
No, that's a great answer.
Okay, so it could be any. It could be
We've
anything
had
anywhere.
Greece, Italy, Florida, California.
I
attach another area
so I can
to-
take it and disconnect it and attach it to New England.
It comes right up.
Okay,
Fits
that's
perfect.
a little different. I thought you wanted somewhere that like was feasibly within the reach
Oh,
of the
no,
New
no.
England. Okay,
This is a
that's
geography
interesting.
class. We got
Not
you.
Okay,
It fits perfect no matter where you're bringing it.
I'm going to say this is different. Okay, if it's gonna be domestic, I mean, it's easy to say Florida.
It could be international too.
It could be international.
It could be just like a city. Like if you wanted to just have Florence, if you wanted to
Okay.
just have Dublin, Ireland, like if you wanted just a particular city, state, or
I'd liked in the me being 100% Italian, I'd love to bring us Sicily.
Hell yeah.
I would love to, but
my friend, you already have it. Go to Federal Hill.
it's right there in Sicily. Oh my God, yeah. Or Gloucester. Shout out to Gloucester, Mass.
Yeah.
Sicilian capital of America. I'll stick with Maryland. It kind of fits with the whole like there is a good like maritime culture in Maryland.
Yeah.
You know what
we
I'm
had
saying? With the crabs.
Key
and the
Harris
old-
on.
Yep.
He said the same thing. He's from there. Spoke
Yeah, he's
very
a Baltimore
highly.
guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We have to do something about Baltimore. Can't afford another one of those in New England. But I will say, you guys say we're taking, well,
It's all coming.
the other thing though is like
We'll take the street cred with Baltimore. So
that's true, but we're also, you got to think of this too, because this question gets deeper. We're adopting like 3 shitty sports teams.
we'll just take their
the
players.
Capitals, no playoffs this year for the Caps. The Wizards are a joke, and the Commanders are like right in the middle of taking that next kind of step in their
those back-to-back
rebuild.
injuries for Daniels.
Jaden Daniels is tough.
That may be his career. Hopefully not.
Yeah, I hope not.
Let's hope
Yeah,
not.
that's the thing. It's like
You
Florida's.
get cursed like RG3 when he was
Yeah.
dude. He got hit, and then the rest of his season,
It's
his career
tough,
was
man.
over.
Yeah, dude,
brutal.
it's
brutal.
tough. I would have to see. Yeah, I guess I'll keep Maryland for that, and then international, bro. Honestly, if it's not Sicily, I'm probably gonna snag Albania. I'm gonna bring in the Albanians, bro. The Albanians are effective. Very effective ethnic group of people, bro. I'm going to tell you right now, you can put them
Facts.
anywhere and they just plug in and just figure it out. They own everything. They mob up if they have to. You know what I'm saying? You always got somebody in the Rolodex and the phone. Like, I'm telling, like, they party. They have
Yes.
great, like, European culture that's still, you know, with the music. They dance. They cook. I would bring in the Albanians. There's already a million of them here anyways.
Hell yeah.
So who cares? Yeah, just bring in the
that.
Albanians and make it an
Love that.
official thing.
All right,
Great.
rank the New England states in order from favorite to least favorite.
Favorite to least favorite. Massachusetts is obviously going to stay my favorite. I'm going with a second. I'm going to put New Hampshire as my second. I am.
Love that.
Third is going to be Rhode Island. Fourth will be Maine. Fifth will be Connecticut. Sixth will be Vermont. That's
Nice.
everyone.
It's a great list.
Yeah,
a
I
great
just don't
list.
think. I just don't know that there's like what Vermont's kind of one dimensional. I will say this though, Burlington, Vermont, according to What Did You Eat Today, Sir?
Yes.
And
Yes.
Al Graziano, our head franchisee at Dave's Hot Chicken, New England. The best pizza they've both ever had
Yes.
is at
Vermont.
Ida's in Burlington.
Yes.
Because this greaser off the boat guy has it. You'd never think it was there. You would
Yeah.
never think pizza with Burlington, Vermont. And Al Graziano's from Italy.
Yeah.
Like moved here when he was a kid, speaks fluent Italian. He's like, that's the best pizza I've ever had. He's had pizza everywhere.
When I do anything food related, that's the first page I go to is his.
What did you eat today, sir?
Mike, yeah.
Mike's
Always.
awesome. So Mike went to
Yeah.
school with my brother.
Yeah,
At
great guy.
and Revere. Awesome kid.
He did a great pod. He had some severe hot takes, and they were fucking awesome. So,
What, Mike?
Yeah.
Mike's a good dude.
Yeah,
Mike's
we
an
love
awesome
Mike.
guy. Yeah, cool
friend
dude.
of the pod.
How
Friend
about
of the pod.
sports teams? Rank them.
Power ranking?
Power ranking.
This is going to be
Favorite to least
controversial.
favorite.
Oh, man, this is going to be controversial.
New England
This is
only.
tough.
And
New
also,
England
you got to
only.
include the Revs. You got to include the fleet. You got to include
Oh, yeah?
the legacy.
We're
You gotta-
coming up out here.
We're bringing the
this
free
is-
jacks. Bring them all in, man.
Oh, man. All right. I got to go by sports that I'm like hip with then. Okay, so I'd have to put like I'm going to sound like an asshole saying this. I'm going to put the legacy last. That's the women's soccer team.
Yes.
Okay. Boston Cannons.
Yes.
Okay.
They're up
all right,
there.
I'm
Hell
going to put
yeah.
the Boston Cannons last. I'm going to put the legacy second to last. After them, I am going to put the I don't want I'm going to put the Free Jacks. Rugby's an awesome sport, but I need a little more exposure on it. I need to watch it a little bit more. I'm going to put the Fleet after that, I think in 6th place. What
Sure.
this sounds like. The PWHL is actually a great product. Like objectively, it's
The
an
fleet
awesome
barely
product.
lost. I mean, they were in the playoffs there. They were almost in the championship.
It's
so.
dude, it's great. Like I skate 3 times a week. Like hockey's like a passion of mine. Like I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
hockey. My dad was a coach and everything. The PWHL is actually a great product. Like it's
Hell yeah.
awesome. Yeah, it is.
They crushed it. They sold out the Garden. which
All
is
they
awesome.
need to do is take off the cages and let them hit and fight.
Yep.
And it'll be the biggest thing in the world. I'm telling you right now, let the girls play. They're pros.
Mhm.
Why are they wearing cages? They're pros.
Mhm.
These girls are the best. Like, let them play.
Hell
let them
yeah.
hit. Let them fight. Just like guys do. Let them do their thing. You know what I'm saying? After that, I'm going to put the Revs. Soccer is a thing that's growing on me. I also love the World Cup. Like, I love the World Cup. I don't watch a single Premier League game ever. The Bundesliga, none of that. I will sit and just crush World Cup games. I love
Oh, yeah?
World Cup. I'm going to put the Celtics at number 4. Basketball's always just been like my least favorite of the 4 major sports. That being said, I'm a sports fanatic, so this just happens to be in 4th. I never played basketball, was never really tall enough to do so. So that's just going to be a 4th for me. I'm going to put the Red Sox at 3. No, I'm going to put the Pats at 3. I think I have to. I have to. Yeah, I have to. Only because, like, again, I only played like 1 year of football my senior year in high school. So, and again, I love the NFL. Like, I'm a diehard Pat fan. Diehard.
Well, you rattled off some teams earlier when we asked you the question about the state, so you definitely know ball.
Definitely. Yeah. Like 100%. Like, I'm a sports fanatic.
Yeah.
And so I got to put the Pats at 3. The Sox are going to come in at number 2 because I briefly played college baseball. And then the Bruins are that's my heart and soul.
Big
That's my
hockey
life.
guy. That I knew.
Yeah, it's just
I knew
that's
hockey was
me.
your thing.
I'm not saying it's like, and I'm not saying that's like metrically accurate based on viewership, but hockey's my sport.
That's
like
it.
That's your
This is a
viewership as
big
well.
question, brother.
No, yeah, and I really think when the Bruins are, remember 2011?
Yeah.
Yeah. This whole New England was on fire.
Yep.
That was the fun. I don't care what anybody says. That was the funnest playoff run I've ever watched of any Boston sports team. Any playoff run to a title, that's the best outside of maybe 04 with the Red Sox.
Yeah.
That's it.
That was my first introduction to hockey because growing up in Rhode Island, hockey's not big in Southern Rhode Island. Not that Southern Northern Rhode Island is really that far, but I only saw it on TV.
Shout
and
out
that
to
was
Nola Chari.
that was
Yep.
before TV was
sat
good
in front of me
enough.
at homeroom.
Really?
Yeah.
He's not like that big of a guy. He's like my height. Isn't he like a regular sized dude?
Yeah.
And you'd
Really
think
cool guy.
Yeah, I heard he's a beast. Continue.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I was trying to think who that was, and I was like, oh no, you went to Hendrick in your first year. I was like, I don't know who that is. But yeah, it was electric because that is how I got introduced to hockey. And it was so much fun to be part of that as a fan and kind of be immersed into that because where I went to school, our hockey team was good. So like hockey was a thing. And I lived with some diehard Bruins fans.
Bro, it was so, I was 19
Yeah.
1 year out of high school. And dude, just so much fun to watch. Like it was must watch TV.
Yep.
I watched every
Yeah.
single game.
Absolutely.
Everything.
Fucking electric.
What's the next one on this segment? This is fun.
What is something that only us New Englanders would understand?
How to drive in a rotary? I think personally, also for every idiot that apparently doesn't in this region, you can't merge from inside the rotary. You have to get to the outside lane. You can't just stop and then expect the rotary to stop. Rotary is supposed to stay in motion. Rotary, rotation. It's right there. It's supposed to keep going.
It's in the name.
It's right in the name. It's supposed to keep moving. That's what this is.
It's like it's an American thing that they don't get it. I have driven in 3 other European countries, and there are rotaries every 5 freaking feet. I'm telling you.
Really?
When you go to Ireland, it is literally a quarter-mile rotary, a quarter-mile rotary.
Oh,
they don't
that's
do 4-way intersections
Awful.
anywhere.
Why? It's too much on
It's
the
Probably
electric
effective.
bill.
because
There's no
it
traffic.
keeps everything
At least
going.
I didn't experience as much traffic once
Yeah.
you get out of like the major city
You
hubs.
know what's funny?
And I was just in Portugal and the same thing.
In a
rotaries
weird,
everywhere.
way, does it kind of keep everything in motion?
Yes.
It's
Even
so
though
much
you're
better.
like technically sedentary when you're like waiting
Yes.
to merge, I get that.
That's
but
the
like
point.
there is some type of like, bro, there's nothing more annoying than coming to a full stop on a highway.
Yes.
Nothing. I'm like, there's no reason this should ever happen. None whatsoever. You either have a traffic light too close to the highway, or there's an accident, which is every single day in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Right.
If you get into an accident on a highway, you literally just have to drive straight and pay attention.
Mhm.
That's it. That's all you have to do to not get into an accident on the highway.
It's
That's
funny
it.
how I think they're just starting to kind of do it. I don't think they can really enforce it yet, but in Connecticut and Rhode Island, they're starting to kind of do the no camping because the keep right accepted pass is the most. Nobody gives a fuck about that sign, and nobody listens to it.
They shouldn't. It's like crazy. I don't know. What'd you say the end?
They
What's
just
that?
don't fucking care about that.
No,
sign.
no
Keep-
one moves to the right, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
yeah.
stay-
I'm
they
sorry.
stay in the
I'm
highway.
dyslexic and
I'm
totally
sorry. I
misunderstood
knew what you meant.
said.
We were
Sorry.
on the same page. Once we
Yeah.
started talking about the rodeo, I was like, this fucking guy gets it.
He
Yeah,
loves
I
to
would-
bring up this subject. No
I
one
fucking
loves to be
hate
in
it.
the fast lane more than this
I
guy.
cannot stand it when people like.
Just living life in the fast lane.
If
brother,
I'm going 75 and someone comes up on my ass, I move and my fucking bad, my fault. And then I get back in and I keep going. I tail that person because I'm like, this guy knows
Sometimes
how
I
to
flip
drive.
those people off because I'm like, fuck you for thinking I'm not driving fast enough.
Yeah.
Like,
How
honestly,
dare you?
Whether I am or I'm not,
Yeah.
it's still like it's like almost like a procedural thing at this
Yeah.
point. I'm like, I have to. Sorry, whether it is me or it's you, I don't know.
Yeah.
But what here, bird
Yeah.
anyways. Like it
But
is what it is.
that's the New England sign of love and respect. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
it.
I think so. Yeah, I think well, that's another thing. I tell people this all the time. I'm like, do I still need this on?
No.
No.
Oh, okay. Another thing I tell people about Massachusetts is like, or New England in general, is like if people don't. Now, by the way, let's not get this confused with like the comment section troll people that are trying to like personally insult your life and shit. Not what I'm talking about. But like, if a Massachusetts person doesn't like, in a friendly way, and you know when somebody's just giving you a hard time to like out of like a friendly thing and like, you know, riling you up or whatever, and that's just a funny thing, or when someone's like legitimately personally insulting you. But if a Massachusetts person isn't like fucking with you in some way, shape, or form, it actually means they don't like
100%.
you. Because like to somebody I don't like, I would be like, yeah, hey, how you doing, buddy?
Mm-hmm.
And be like, that guy fucking sucks, can't stand him. It might be the guy that lives across the street from you. I don't know, a dude you see at Dunkin' Donuts every morning taking forever in the front of the line. I don't know, anything. It could be whatever. But Massachusetts people definitely will like rib you. And I've seen people like different, like, you know, whether it's traveling now and meeting certain celebs and how they do it. And you can tell like it's not as universally accepted as you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've seen some guys that aren't even Massachusetts people, but like they'll rib people that are on stage with them and chirp a little bit and shit. And sometimes people will be like, yeah, he's just kind of a tough guy to be around sometimes. He's like a very, and I'm like, no, he's not.
Yeah. Sounds
I'm
awesome.
like, I love this guy.
Yeah.
This guy's great.
Yeah.
He would fit in great back home.
Yeah,
This dude's
yeah.
awesome. I'm like, can I work for this person? Like,
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, it's definitely like a thing where that is definitely like a thing where if someone's not making fun of you and they're just keeping things like short and like respectful,
Mm-hmm.
it probably means they don't fuck with you.
Yep.
In my opinion, at least.
All right, last question, and I think you're probably gonna have a good answer. And I wanted to tie this into the fact that acting and being an entertainer is something that you're passionate about.
Yes.
What do you think is the best New England / Boston-based film ever made?
Town.
That was fast.
Yep. So easy. Do you want a power ranking? Ready?
Go for it. Yeah, give me the best ones.
Okay. I'm not putting it in the top 5. It's not a top 5 movie. I will say this, like, just honorable mentions. I do like somewhat appreciate Fever Pitch for like what it is.
Great fucking drop.
Especially since like it's objectively like a corny Boston movie. Like I get that. It absolutely is. But I think it kind of knows that. And like it's also like there's something about like the Sox 04 World Series win being tied into it that I find like endearing. And like it's like a cute little movie. Like it's fine. It's fine. That's the best way to put it.
That's
It's
exactly
fine.
what it's meant to be.
Yeah, it's fine. My top 5 go. I have The Departed at 4. What did I have at number 5? I'm trying to remember what this was. I can't think. It was like Mystic River. It was something else. I can't remember. I have Goodwill Hunt. I'm sorry. I had Goodwill Hunting at 5. I have The Departed at 4. I forgot what I put at 3. I have Gone Baby Gone at 2. And I have The Town at number 1. Personally.
That's a great lineup.
I'm drawing a dyslexic blank on what I had at number 3. I'm trying to think of what it would have been. It's not Mystic River. Mystic River's good.
It's got to be Grown Ups with Adam Sandler.
Is Grown Ups technically a Boston set movie though?
Well, no, I'm saying New England. I said like New England or Boston based because when you
No, but
incorporate
where
New
does
England-
Grown Ups take place?
New Hampshire.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't. You know, I always forget that like that's in the movie.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about that. That's interesting. Is Grown Ups, by the way, the all-time like background noise movie? I had this conversation.
For me, maybe.
I had this
It's-
conversation with
It's
somebody
up
the
there.
other day though. Like a couple guys at hockey were like, "Yeah, dude, I can just like leave Grown Ups on like on my TV and like fall
That's
asleep
too
watching
funny.
it like every single night." And I'm like, "Is Grown Ups an all-time
I can see why.
background noise movie?" You
I
know
put
what I'm
on The Office. That's my.
That was another one
Because
that
you
came
can
up.
you
The
can
Office.
watch and know exactly what's going on. Walk away for 10 minutes, come back and know exactly still what's going on.
Do you have a fall asleep movie or a remote drop? I should say.
I do. I watch Friends every night. And even though
Friends
The
was
Office
mine.
is my favorite, and so is New Girl, the problem is The Office intro is way too fucking loud for some reason. So
Dude,
like when
a
you fall
guy
asleep,
at-
all of a sudden, it's like, what the hell?
Hold on. One of the guys on my baseball team said the exact same thing last night. He's like, bro, the intro is like 10 decibels above on the remote than the rest of the show.
Right.
So like, it's like, "Dun, dun," and it's like an orchestra's playing it. And then he's like, dude, I have to like borderline mute the TV or like raise the volume to hear the show because it's so quiet at times. What's your remote drop movie? Because you're a film guy. You're a And by the way, it doesn't have to be in a cat. I have what mine is. It's from our era, but I want to know what yours is. I'm talking remote drop. This is like a movie you would see on after school on like TNT. Remember when that was a thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, man. I just like,
Comfort movie.
yeah, I have a lot of movies that I love. Like I love. A comfort movie might be a better term for me, but I love Night at the Roxbury and The Goonies. Those are like my two like.
Okay.
Those are
I
like
didn't
my-
expect A Night at the Roxbury to
It's
get
one of
another.
the-
The
it's one of
Goonies,
the-
yeah.
It's one of the funniest freaking movies. Well, like
you-
for me when I was a kid.
Do you
like,
think that's the best like SNL movie ever? Don't forget, it's got to beat Wayne's World and it's got to beat Tommy Boy.
I will never, ever go against anything Chris Farley. So it has to be Tommy Boy. But
Right.
that's just because Chris Farley is like no one that ever existed before. And
Right.
the same way Robin Williams. Like there are some people in this world, in the
Generational.
acting world that are generational and can never be duplicated.
Right.
There are some amazing actors, but amazing actors have come before and will come after.
Yes.
There are certain people who just touch a screen and they don't even end up doing a ton of movies.
No.
But they do certain ones and you're just like, it can never be duplicated.
I think Chris Farley's the
Farley,
greatest.
Robin Williams. Are
I
two of
think
those
Chris
people for
Farley's
me.
the greatest physical comedian of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, as
You
far
can't
as like just
duplicate what
watching
he
him,
did.
even on Saturday Night Live, dude, like throwing himself through tables and shit, down staircases, through windows and shit.
Hollywood Ninja. Do you remember that one?
Beverly Hills
Beverly
Ninja.
Hills Ninja. Oh my
Yeah,
god,
dude,
that is
it's
one of
like,
so
bro,
good.
it's and then, so mine's Twister.
great movie.
Bill Paxton, vintage Bill,
Great movie.
vintage Helen
Twister's a
Hunt.
savage
It's
movie.
just a great dude, just like chill out, watch the visual effects. It's not super cerebral, which is fine.
Mark, where can everybody find you online if they want to give you a follow and start getting in if they're not already?
Real simple. Marc Lewis, MarcLew 1S, because the 1 is an I, because I had to be kind of cool. And if I was going to get Marc Lewis as a tag, I needed to verify it, like change something a little bit. And that was better than making the S a $, in my opinion. So it's just that I'm just rocking on IG.
Awesome.
That's pretty much it.
And you're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
I mean, yeah,
all
my
those?
Facebook is brand new and just Instagram. I don't have a TikTok or anything anymore. I don't even have like a YouTube. I mean, my YouTube channel is like non-existent. It's like what saves my favorite videos and I watch at night. That's like it. So posting wise, IG.
All right, Mark. Well, thank you very much for being on with us today at the So New England podcast. We appreciate your time and chatting it up.
This is great, bro. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap. All right, folks. That'll conclude episode 86 of the So New England podcast. Please try and remember, folks, life's better in New England.
Red Sox crack and the Celtics fly. Patriots fight and the Bruins grind. From 6 great states, we raise this sound. New